This is going to be a kind of a philosophy video on buying military surplus optics. Right here we got a lot of the optics, sights and lights and lasers that were used on the SOPMOD Block II. And what I want to tell you is that although I own all these and I'm not going to sell these, in my lifetime, I can think of a reason for each of them, at least one or two reasons to not buy them, right? So right here, we're going to talk about really just what this collection is, why you might want to do it, and kind of what the prices again are. And that's going to be a theme in all the videos, is like, what should you pay for these sort of things, and what are these things worth, right? So a lot of these things you have to think about. There's things that make the price go up, and there's things that make the price go down. So the thing that makes the price go up on a lot of these is supply. That's obvious. A lot of these things are not made anymore. And another thing that makes the price go up is there is a lot of demand for some of these things because they were in a picture of some military guy using it, or it was in a video game, things like that. But the thing that makes the price go down is that these things are almost all these things are outdated, right? The technology improves, and each one of these things has kind of been outclassed by just something else that's a lot cheaper and newer, and comes with a warranty and things like that. So these will generally be priced kind of up or down, based on the MSRP. And a lot of times, if you do buy some surplus stuff, it will be a little bit cheaper. The practicality of a lot of these things, all these things still work. They're not, you don't need the latest cool guy thing, to do things. You can just put one of these sights on your guns and it will probably work pretty well for you, especially if you're just plinking around or you're just collecting or things like that. So without further ado, let's kind of go through these things. Let's start with the lights. So here we have this is a Insight, an SU, okay, let's see, I can't do it. Or, sorry, yeah, it's an SU, I think, I want to say 231, but it's also the M3X Light. Hopefully we have autofocus on. Yeah, so this is just a white light with this black thing is a IR filter. It's just it's a regular bulb. It's not bright at all. You can just get, another light that's a little bit cheaper than this, and it will be a lot brighter. You can upgrade these. You can remove the head and put an LED bulb on it, but you'll have to pay a little bit extra money. These things are pretty bulky, but why do people pay for them? Well, they're collectible, and they're on this list of the things that people put on SOPMOD Block IIs. I paid like $250 for this, and that's just how much they go for, and this is way more expensive than what you should pay for a light. You can just get a X300 Surefire that will be much better than this and cheaper, right? So again, we're not going to justify why we buy any of these things based on practicality. The only thing that we can say is that if you want it, you pay for it, and if you are going to pay for it, know what they're worth now based on today's market. And I would say between $200 and $300, that's what you're going to be paying for one of these. But again, the reason not to buy one, there's just much better lights for a lot cheaper, right? And that's going to be a common theme with a lot of these things. And then last, I guess if we just want to talk about the overview, you can put a remote switch on it. It has a on, off, and temporary with this button, and it takes two of the, I think, 1, 2, 3 A's. Okay. This one also takes 1, 2, 3 A's. This is another Surefire. Now, which one is this? See, I don't even know. An M93, I believe. Anyway, this one's in tan. I got this one. Both of these lights came from Thoroughbred Armament. I didn't do much research on this. It was just an old surplus light. It came on sale on Thoroughbred Armament. and I think I paid like $100 for this. I don't really know much about it. I just kind of impulsively bought it, but it is of the era. I don't think it's on the Block II list, but this was definitely used in the military. This light does have LEDs, so it's a little bit brighter, but it's not that much brighter. It's still a little outdated. I would say the reason I would think it's outdated is if you got like a Surefire Scout. The Scouts are a lot smaller, and they probably pack more of a punch. This one is IR2, and the way you do that, instead of it using a filter, it has a head that rotates. Okay, so let me turn it back to white. Okay, and it's got this really old school mount it's just really bulky. It works, but there's better mounts now, and with M-Lock and things like that. You can probably take it off and upgrade it, but like I said, this is just, I bought it impulsively because it was cheap, and I wouldn't recommend buying it unless you're collecting. Okay. Okay, this is not surplus, but this is kind of a class of kind of clone stuff you get. This is a ATPIAL-C, so this is the civilian version. So it still has the blue screw that allows you to put in the full power mode, but it doesn't actually go in the full power mode. The laser is definitely not as strong, so the lasers are controlled by the FDA. You can't sell them commercially, but you can get these on the the third-party market. Yeah, this laser is decent. The IR is decent. For ranges that you'd probably do things at. But the illuminator, they have glued it in place, so you cannot adjust it. So it is eye safe, but you're kind of stuck with the illuminator at a certain cone. And if you want it to be tighter or you want it to be wider, you're shit out of luck. So I think that's like one of the worst things about this. It's like you lose a lot of functionality, and these things are not cheap. These are like $1,000, and I don't think they're practical at all. There's probably better lasers, IR lasers that you can get, better illuminators as well. But you get it because it looks kind of the part. So yeah, that's why I have it. I don't really use my stuff. I just like collecting it, so that's why I have it. I will say, I'm not, I try to be very safe with my firearms. I mean, you have to be very safe with your firearms. I typically do not load my firearms in my house, except for maybe one thing that I would use. Not a collectible thing, it would be more just like the practical, use this to actually, defend yourself. But the thing is, I have left this thing on and by accident. And, if I had a full power one, and I've had the opportunity to buy a full power one, I can afford a full power one. I just don't really trust myself with the full power one. It is just way too easy to turn on the IR. I mean, that's why they have the screw there. Like, I think in some, units, they actually didn't really allow the soldiers to put it into the full power mode. I just wouldn't really trust myself with full power mode. It's just too dangerous. If I want to be like pointing around the house or something, or in the basement or wherever, I'll have to be worried about like my pets or something like that. It's just, I don't want to restrict other people from having it. I just don't trust myself. And I think people are probably a lot dumber with lasers than with guns in some cases. So that's what this is. Again, do I recommend this one? I don't know if I'd recommend it unless you want to collect it. As for like, if you wanted something that shot a laser, something that has an IR laser, there's other options out there. There's other companies that make things for a lot cheaper. Like I think HoloSun's making some good ones now. Okay, so now onto the sights. So what do we got here? We've got an EOtech. This is a SU-231, also known as the I will annotate it because I don't remember right now. Yeah, this one takes the two 123A batteries. These are old, they don't make them anymore, and let's go through the myriad of reasons why you wouldn't want to get this, unless you got it for a good price. I got this one for $200, so I think that was a pretty good deal. But why would you not want it? One, this is one of the older generation EOtechs. It is susceptible to having that thermal shift. However, you know, I don't know if that was super overblown or not, but yeah, this has the potential to have thermal shift. Two, this is a older sight, so EOtech no longer you know, services these sites. So if you were to have an issue with it, you're kind of shit out of luck. They might give you a voucher to buy a new one, but they're gonna give you like 100, 200 bucks or something like that. Three, these sights can kind of go bad. I can't capture in here. Let's see, maybe we can. If you look on the edges, you'll see kind of, I don't know if you'll see it, but if you look on the edges of the glass, you'll see these kind of like fingers or whatever. That is when the lens starts to delaminate. And as it delaminates, it's harder to see the sight. And on this one in particular, the delamination is not that bad, but I've seen pictures of other ones where the delamination gets pretty bad. And then these sights in particular had the susceptibility, because of the way the battery is oriented, under recoil, the battery and the contacts can loosen up and it can turn your sight off. I haven't, you know, experienced that with this one, but that's a thing that was commonly reported. So again, you buy it for the, I bought it because it has these cool laser engravings. I got it also because it was $200. I had actually not had an EOtech, so I just want to know what a holographic sight even looked like, and they are definitely different than red dot sights. So I think this is a good deal, but you know, you should buy a newer EOtech if you really want an EOtech, or maybe get this if it's like a really smoking deal, like 200 bucks like I got. And then last, I forgot to say why I wouldn't get it. This has the arms mount. So these arms mounts, this will be a common theme in some of the stuff that we do. These arms mounts are a little bit outdated. The clamping force on them, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's super tight and sometimes it'll be really loose. You can get upgraded arms mounts that I think can make it a little bit tighter, but you'll have to upgrade them. But that's an option. Okay. Okay, so then here's a red dot. This is a CompM4. This is one of the models that is upgraded, has a better battery life than the CompM2s. This also takes a AA battery. I think it gets like 5 years or maybe even longer than that. At some point it just doesn't really matter. You can see that this one is pretty beat up. They still make parts for a lot of these. You know, I got a new lens cover in the back. I believe this is the one that, yeah, this is what came with this kill flash. You can see it's kind of fucked up. And it comes with its own mount. This is a quick release mount. But yeah, this sight, I think it's still decent. Aimpoint still sells the CompM4. They sell the CompM4S, I believe, where the battery container is on the bottom portion. It gives you kind of a, gives you the idea, or I don't know if it actually makes your field of view better, but it, you know, I think it does. Yeah, it makes your field of view kind of better. But these sights, the technology has probably changed a little bit, but the bulk of the housing, these like 30mm lenses, or 30mm housings for the M2, the M4, your Aimpoint Pro, I think they're getting a little bit old. I think there's better options now for red dots. Again, HoloSun seems to be pretty good. Like if I were to buy something for practicality, I'd probably go for HoloSun. But if I go for something for collectability, things that were used by the military, then obviously you would go for like an Aimpoint or something like that. And for this one, I got this as a bundle deal. It came with a M4 upper. So I think I got the M4 upper for 700 bucks. It was like just a 14.5-inch M4 upper with just the plastic hand guards, bolt carrier group and things like that. But it came with this, and I think I got it for $700. So the upper is like worth 500-ish. Like it was a Colt upper, then maybe I got this for 200. So I think I got a pretty good deal on these because these are usually MSRP at like $800, $900 or something. So a used one, and these are kind of bomb proof. I think that was a pretty good deal. Okay, this is probably this is my most expensive one that I have. I think I used my COVID stimulus check to purchase this, or at least help purchase this. I think I ended up paying like $1,800 for this. So this is quite an expensive sight. Elcans are not cheap in general, but this one was also not cheap. This one, if you look at it, will be a little bit different than a lot of the Elcans that you see online. First of all, it's in this nice flat dark earth. A lot of them are black, but these ones have the military markings because this is a previously military issued Elcan. On it, I got the plate for the the backup red dot sight. I have not been able to find it's like a Doctor or an Insight mini red dot sight. I saw one for $200 and I missed out on it. It was brand new in box with all the accessories. I do like the way that this Elcan looks with the plate without the sight on it though. The sight starts making it look goofy. It's just like a lot of shit on the gun. And I searched far and wide for these backup sights here. These like really crude backup sights. This is what happens when you get into like cloning. Like I wanted a particular profile, so they updated these where they're like slightly slanted. This is the one that's a 90-degree kind of cut on it. They're probably worse, but that's just what I wanted. I wanted that look, so I searched far and wide for it and paid probably a little too much for them. Okay, so what's the sight about? This is a 1-to-4 sight. I bought this mostly because I just wanted to see what this mechanism was about. So it goes from 4 to 1. It is an illuminated sight. You can have the illuminated cross or the red dot. Supposedly you can use this in night vision, but with the kind of weird eye relief, it's kind of pretty shitty in 1x for passive aiming. What else about it? As part of the criticisms for this sight in particular, arms mounts. Again, you can upgrade them to make them better. And what okay, this is like kind of the last thing, but all this stuff is hearsay, so you don't know what's true or what's not true. I've read that, I hear, oh, these sights are bomb-proof, SOCOM uses them, they're great. But I've also, then you see like Forgotten Weapons and in-range TVs saying that these sights are garbage because the adjustment to the sight is outside, and it's outside of the housing. So you adjust the elevation and the windage by holding this, this mount is on your AR-15 or whatever gun, and then you move the sight in relation to the mount. Other sights are usually done internally. Whether that makes the gun inherently, or the sight inherently bad or not, I'm not a engineer of that type, so I have no idea, whether that's good. Like logically that sounds okay, but how are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to know if like people are just, you think people are credible because they used it or whatever? But some people that used it said it was good, and then the in-range and Forgotten Weapons said, oh, we talk to people who know things. Like we talk to people in special forces, but like how do you know they know? So like it's all hearsay at that point. But you can just use the sight now as a civilian. Does it even fucking matter? As long as you're not using it for hunting or something and it makes you miss your shot, like an important shot, I'm sure this thing will do just fine. I have not shot a gun with this on it yet, but I do plan on doing that just to see what this is all about. I think some of the things that people have said is that they use the 4x to zero it, and then when you shift to the 1x, you can have a point of aim shift. And I'm wondering if that's true. That's something that maybe I'll check and also make a video about. But yeah, this is probably was one of my holy grail, one of my grail sights for military collecting. I'm sure I'm gonna spend more money as I make more money in my job, buying more stuff. But at the time when I was not making very much, this was something that I was just super excited about getting. Used in video games, saw the site, it just looks fucking cool. And I'm glad I scooped it up for the price that I did. I think I paid, yeah, like I said, I paid like $1,800 for it. Which is the going rate for Elcans. I think they could be even a little more, but this one again has all the markings that make it look real cool. I think it still had some of the blue like unit paint and stuff like that. So, okay, so what did we learn here? We learned that, you know, I got a problem. I own all these things that I don't think are practical, and I think that's kind of where I think cloning is. Cloning is just more modern, you know, mil-cert collecting. Like, you collect your M1 Garands or your World War II pistols or World War II rifles, Vietnam stuff. This is exactly the same thing. These are still kind of usable, just as, you know, lots of firearms from World War II and Vietnam are still usable. These just seem a little bit more modern because they have more of an overlap, but if you just consider that you are collecting these things because you saw a picture, you saw a video game, you saw a movie, you think it looks cool, you know, I think it's easier to justify some of these purchases of just saying that, you know, you like it, instead of saying, oh, is this really the best thing? Or, you know, this Elcan, like, what's the capabilities of it? How is it better than LVPO? Like, maybe it's good or not good, but it's like, these things are so outdated. It's like, I don't know if you should even consider these things if you're just talking about, like, you know, defending yourself or using it in a competition or something like that. If you are doing that, I would just go for newer stuff that still has warranty. None of these things are, besides this laser, is under warranty. So if these break, I'm shit out of luck. This $1,800 sight, if it breaks, I'm fucked, right? So, you know, you should buy something with a warranty if you plan on using it and you plan on depending on it. So hopefully this kind of, we're gonna keep beating that drum that, you know, none of these things are the most practical to buy. But, you know, you can still collect them. They still have value because people want them. And just don't get ripped out, or don't get ripped off out there. And if you have any questions on some of these, this is not my full collection on sites. These are just kind of the things I have on hand right now. But I'll probably do another video where I just lay everything out, but that won't be for a while. So if you like these videos, please subscribe. Please ask questions and comment below. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a like. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.